1977, Dark Marden and the Shadows. I was living in Fort Collins, Colorado, playing in a band called They'll Never Take Me Alive, when my mother had a stroke and my dad called me back to Panama. She died a few weeks later in Gorgas Hospital at the age of 54. By then I was with my family at 978 Verde Street, La Boca. That was November of 1976. In January of 1977, my father retired and left Panama for good. I didn't want to leave just yet, so I had to come up with a plan. So I started a band with Chuck Peterson on bass, Stanley Wright, lead guitar, Tom Pattison on drums, and me on rhythm guitar. We called ourselves Dark Marden and the Shadows, and we practiced in a shed at the back of the immigration station in Corzel. Tom just happened to live on a street that adjoined the compound, with a gate to the fence almost next door. I had a key to the gate that my dad had given me. He was in charge of the facility until he retired. I still have that brass Panama Canal Company lock. The four of us got together and put down about 20 songs, then started playing around town, even at a club or two in Panama City. We weren't awesome, but we were damn good, and a lot of fun. All the kids came to see us when we played. My brother Don was still in the Canal Zone too. He lived with Tiger Malone in Balboa. This is the only picture I have of him at that time, so it'll have to do. As you can see, he was a lot of fun and cut quite the figure in the Canal Zone at that time. At some point, my brother and I put together a plan to have a big party at the Diablo Point picnic area. This is us playing volleyball that year at the point. That's the shed the band played under during the party. I'll get to all that shortly, but let me tell you about the boys in the band first. Chuck Peterson lived in La Boca just like me. He was a funny son of a bitch. We were up at Las Tablas for a carnival once, and someone had written "Waste Wagon" on the side of his station wagon. Chuck walks up out of nowhere and says, "I could just see one of these bitos reading that saying, 'What the hell does Waste Wagon mean?'" I'll never forget it. Then there was Stanley Wright. He actually became a rocket scientist. No kidding. He's still playing killer guitar and rocking out somewhere. Great guy. He might be living back in Panama as I write this. Tom Pattison and his family were very good to me. They let me share a room with his little brother, Red, and their huge Great Dane, until I left the Canal Zone a few months later. Tom was a real friend, and I'll always remember his kindness. If I ever see him again, I'll hug him, if he'll let me. So, back to Diablo Point and the party plan my brother and I came up with. We decided to throw a party at the end of the road, just past the little bridge where the swamp from Diablo emptied into the backwaters of Pier 18. It was a perfect choke point to stop and charge people as they drove to the end. We bought 101 cases of Ham's beer and got permission to use the area. We called the event Darkness 101 to go along with the band's name. That was early 1977. Everything was going great until the last set, about 11 o'clock that night, when the entire PA blew up. There was nothing else we could do but stop playing. Fortunately, we still had enough beer for another hour, so the party raged on until midnight or so, with ships passing in the nearby canal and someone's car stereo blasting out Hotel California. My dad left me a plane ticket to Miami with instructions to meet him in Tallahassee to help him move in. I decided to go on ahead the very next day and spend time with Jim Feely in Miami until my dad's arrival drew near. Tom drove me to Tucumán Airport in Panama, and we said goodbye. That was the end of Dark Marden and the Shadows. Jim met me at the Miami airport with two hot sisters who literally worked at the Playboy Club on Biscayne Boulevard in Miami, and I forgot where I was for 2 weeks. I don't remember much about those 2 weeks, but I do remember seeing Pink Floyd with a floating pig, and a whole lot of those two girls. Somehow I managed to hitchhike to Tallahassee and meet my dad on time, as promised. Those are some crazy days. And by the way, my sister was the cutest.